Hi, Haley. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Hi, Cecilia. Nice to meet you as
Yeah,
well. Thank you so
yeah.
much for having me.
No, thank you very much for accepting our invitation for this interview, and I'm just very excited to hear all about your point of views and your insights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I have four questions today. Um,
Mhm.
as the CEO and founder of Dandy Day, we have learned that your mission is to run a conscious beauty firm
Yes.
that bridges brands and with ingredients companies doing good for people and the planet, which is
Mhm.
amazing idea. You have obviously very strong background on cosmetic formulation. What do you foresee as the next best trends and tools that will help in formulating the performance that consumer groups like need right now?
Mhm. Yeah. Well, thank you, yeah, for stating what we do at Dandy Day, and for this question. It really does speak to my expertise in formulations, but also working with ingredients for the past 10 years as a sales and marketing, working with distributors and selling ingredients from all over the world. And we have seen these different trends that have happened. Maybe it was natural, organic, clean beauty, and so what we're finding, and what I see happening in the marketplace, the next biggest trend that is going to happen will be consumers really asking questions about the processing of ingredients. How are the ingredients processed?
Mm,
Because the more information they know, researching on the internet, they find like, hey, this particular ingredient has different hazards. However, if it's made in a different way, it's not as hazardous, maybe to the environment, or it's more gentle. So we're seeing consumers understanding the industry a little more. So I think that the next trend will be for consumers looking at how ingredients are processed, and if they're using alternative or greener manufacturing practices to make the same chemicals.
mm. That's really very important because some ingredients, I always hear people talk about different ingredients, and not
Mhm.
necessarily in the beauty cosmetic product, but also in general in our food or for our
Mhm.
well-being. Sometimes the one ingredient may not be by itself, may not be the bad thing, but when it's with combining with others or maybe too much is not good. So it's
Mhm.
very important for the consumer to have the correct um, uh, accurate knowledge about uh, each ingredients.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think one of the part of that question was also maybe some different tools that are used in helping
Mhm.
formulate to what these groups are looking for.
Mhm.
What I've seen has been an increase in different softwares and apps on your phone that
Mhm.
can tell you about ingredients. And
Wow.
definitely here in the United States, there are a lot of um, apps. So actually on my phone, I downloaded a lot of them, and I have, let's see, one, two, three, four
Wow.
apps on the phone. So I think one of the fastest growing is called the Good Face Project. And
Oh.
so they do ingredient scoring. They use artificial intelligence to collect data on ingredients.
Mhm.
And that informs the consumer if a particular ingredient has a hazard, or how it scores or rates based on the collected information that's available on
Wow.
ingredients. And so there's about 100,000 ingredients, I believe, they have on their app that they
Yeah.
go through. So I
Yeah.
think that's kind of one of the tools that's really helping push some of these next trends. And
Mhm.
as the consumer has so much information and access, they're going to start asking more and more questions. And then that comes back to the research and development of like,
Mm.
hey, how do we find ingredients that answer these specific questions for the consumer?
Mm. That's really important. My next question is, we all know that having a fantastic formula that fits within a budget is only have the story. And how can we create a product that has a story that is eye-catching to the public?
Yeah. So I get asked this question quite a bit
Mm,
in various ways from brands, and it always comes back to, at least for me, asking the brand founders, what is your story? What is something
mm,
that really resonates with you? What was the inspiration behind this brand? What is
mhm,
it that you want to say to the public with this brand, and what it represents to you? And so I think that's where we all yearn as consumers to connect, and we
mhm,
make those connections through brands, and through their story and identifying with that. So I think having a great product is part of it, and
mhm.
also integrating the founder or the company's mission into that product and being able to clearly communicate that is something that really supports the sale of the
Mm.
product. So
Yeah, very, very important point, because there are so much involved to have
yeah,
to be able to contribute a good eye-catching product. It's just it's not that simple. Yeah.
right. Yeah. And it takes a lot of soul searching, I think. It's one of the things, Cecilia, that I experience working with brand founders,
Mm-hmm.
and even as myself as an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of digging, soul searching. Why do I want to do this? What does it represent to me?
Mm.
And sometimes it could be born out of like personal healing. Maybe somebody had cancer, and there
Yeah.
wasn't anything that they available for them when they were going through the struggle, and now they feel that they can help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be an example of the journey. Like for me as an entrepreneur, it's like, hey, I want to be able to help people throughout the supply chain, and seeing and understanding like, oh, if we use this particular ingredient out of Africa, it helps this specific community and Burkina Faso. And so yeah, I think it requires some soul searching, and that's not
Yes.
always fast. That's not always
Oh,
quick.
yeah, that's definitely, because that involve a lot of time to think and
Mhm,
to uh, obviously research always takes a lot of time. But
mhm,
yeah, like I like the word that you use, soul searching, because really when a product is really authentic, has some authentic meaning.
mhm.
Especially for entrepreneurs, that will that means something that connects to them, so that they can really have the passion to share their passion and to create a
Yeah.
great product. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's inspiring. When you
Yes.
when you see that and you experience that in a
Hmm.
brand, you get
Yeah.
you get inspired. So
Yeah. My next question is, how can we stay ahead of trends when development and minimum level of testing and manufacturing take at least 9 months already, and if everything goes to the plan, and not get left behind?
yeah, really doing a lot of reading. I am super plugged into LinkedIn, which is where we met,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very well steeped in my industry. And so, if you're not able to do that as a founder, wherever you are,
Mm,
having a team that can pull together information and understanding, okay, where are things headed in the next 5 years? And I see that a lot on the ingredient side is ingredients that are coming out of universities. I might hear about them on the news,
mm,
in different scientific forums I'm in. And then it's just something I put in the back of my mind and think about, okay, how can I incorporate that in the future? So I would really say having a good research team
mm,
and a plan to acquire knowledge and put it in a consolidated place within your organization, so you can always pull from that and come up with your planning schedule. So a lot of companies, when they're creating new products, they plan at least 2 years, maybe 3 years out. And so if you're able to do that as a company, being able to plan those goals and say, okay, this year we want to launch 3 products. Next year we're going to launch 4 products. Next year maybe we'll launch 5 products, and
mhm,
working towards those goals. Um, yeah, the acquisition of that knowledge, organizing it, and setting clear goals will really help you be ahead of that the trend and that curve as the development happens so quickly.
Yes, it's and last but not least, can you share also share your one-stop solution to help beauty brands to source and develop their products?
Yeah, so this is very much directly related to Dandy Day, and
Mm.
I put together a community of other
Yeah,
service
I went
providers.
actually saw it. I saw on the
You did?
website. Yes,
Okay.
I didn't have a lot of
Yeah.
time to browsing, but it's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I came at it a little bit differently where I saw a lot of new people coming into the industry, new
Mhm.
brand founders, no experience in beauty, manufacturing, creating a brand. And so I've pulled together about 30 to 35 different service providers and companies. So they all do
Mm.
something different in the industry than I do,
Mhm.
where I'm very focused on formulations, manufacturing, ingredient sourcing, sustainability education. These
Mhm.
other companies might deal with finance and operation,
Mhm.
sales and marketing,
Wow.
and so they have a lot of support. So
Mm.
hopefully, when a brand starts working with Dandy Day and is one of my subscribers, they have access to a whole support system and network that can help support their brand for success. So that's my one-stop solution.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, that's really important. I think that community idea because
Mhm.
otherwise, there are many platforms out there, but how to connect them together, and people can really feel free to share what they know and to help each other. I believe
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
concept very much because on beautysourcing.com, we also have a community area that we
Mhm.
feel it's just essential to provide that kind of space for people to actually to really connect, not just going on a website and look for information or get educated, from different topics. Yeah. So I really
Yeah, absolutely.
love the community ideas. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what really drew me to beauty sourcing, Cecilia. This
Hmm.
idea around community, really being able to help and support brands as they grow. And
Hmm.
so I love what y'all are doing,
Oh,
and you're
thank you.
and you're
Thank
in
you.
a different part of the world too. And so
Mhm.
I think it's unique and being understand. Okay, what happens in what's happening in the U.S., what's happening in China,
Mhm.
and how if we want to be in those different markets,
Mhm.
who are the right people to connect with. So
Yes, absolutely. We are actually working very closely with some of the very important associations around the world.
mm,
In the US, we work with IBA. I'm not sure if you
okay,
heard it.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
IBA. And also in China and Europe, we all have our branches,
Hmm.
to work on a local level to reach different small companies, small or medium size of company to help them to grow. So I really feel like we can probably, to have more of this kind of interactions to help each other.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. Yes,
yes.
I love
Mhm.
it. Well, thank you so much for letting me be a part of your community, and we're honored to have beauty
It's
sourcing as part of the Danny Day community as well.
Yeah, no, the pleasure is ours. It's that is a great uh, information and insight that you are sharing today with our audience. And yeah, I thank you very much for your time to join us today. And I'm sure our both community will be able to benefit, from
Yeah,
this. Mhm.
I
Yeah.
agree. Okay, well, thank you so much, Cecilia.
Oh, thank
We'll be,
you. So
yeah.
thank you very much. Yeah.